Joint ventures are a powerful way to scale your real estate portfolio. If you do them right, if you do them wrong, you're going to get dragged through the mud and end up with a pretty big financial black eye. That's exactly what we're talking about today. But before that, I just want to walk you through the 4 ways that you can buy a property, because that is one of them is a joint venture. So let's get right into it today. So 4 ways to acquire property. Way number 1. So the first way you can actually buy a property, right, is you can buy it yourself. Let's hop over to the real estate matrix real quick. So we've got 4 components of the real estate matrix, right? If you watch this channel, you will know all about the matrix here, right? We've got the deal itself, the opportunity. You need a deal under contract with a good business plan so you can make money at it. You need financing, right? You need the leverage so you can upsize your returns. You need the equity component, the money needed not only for the down payment for the property, so you have some equity in the property, but also the capex, the money you're putting in to improve the property, and that's going to tie into your business plan. And then you have the management component. And the management component is going to be the decision making. It's not just the property management, collecting checks, dealing with tenant complaints. It's the overall management of the project. So what work to do, when to do it, how many units to renovate, when to sell, when to refinance. If you refinance, what kind of debt are you doing? This is the brains behind the operation right here. So if you're going to be buying the property yourself, which is the first way to actually buy property, you need to have all 4 of these components. You need to be a pro. You need to find the deal. You need to understand the deal, know the market, know all the demographic shifts going on, what's driving the market. You need the deal. You need the financing, so you will need the net worth to be able to qualify for the loan and to sign on that. You will need the equity component, so you need the money to not only have a down payment on the property, but also improve it so you can make money at it. And then you need the management experience. So you need to know when to raise rents, do all the management work in the deal, and have a good understanding when to sell. When's a good time to actually buy the property? All of these things go into that. So if you hit all 4 and you can and you're an expert and you're a pro, you can buy the property yourself. The second way to do it, which is the topic for today, is you can joint venture or partner with somebody, right? Because oftentimes you're not going to be the expert in everything, right? You may have the deal, you may have the management experience, but you may not have the equity available right now. Maybe you're looking to buy a $10 million property, you need $3 million or $4 million with all the capex. You might only have $500,000, so you need to go out and raise it from somebody else. In which case, if you know somebody who's got the rest of the money, maybe they have $3.5 million they want to invest, and you've got $500,000, but you've got the deal and you've got the management experience. Maybe the partner, you can bring them in, they'll bring the rest of the equity you need, and then also the financing component. And that way you can get the deal together. So that's a joint venture or partnership way to buy a property. And it doesn't just have to be 2 people. It can be 3 people, 4 people, 5 people. There's many, many different ways to slice the joint venture cake. The third way to buy a property is to syndicate it. And syndication in a nutshell, it's when you pool investors over here. The investors pool their money, and these are totally passive investors, and they'll pool their money with what's called a general partnership, and together they acquire the piece of real estate. And syndication is done on a project by project basis. So let's say somebody finds a deal. Let's say you find a deal and you have the business plan, you know exactly what to do, you know how to manage it, but you don't have the equity component, right? You've got somebody who can sign on the loan, but you need the equity. Syndication is a very, very efficient way to raise money and also deploy it. And there are a number of advantages to syndicating a deal, because you actually have true passive investing on this side. And together, the general partnership and the limited partnership, they partner together. The entity then acquires the property, and then you can run the deal. And the fourth way to acquire real estate is actually to launch a fund. And a fund is a little bit like a syndication. And a fund will go out and grow and have a life on its own, of its own, right? So the fund itself, with the syndication, it's a project by project basis. With the fund itself will buy a property, it will sell a property, it will grow, So you may have a fund, you start off and acquire 2 properties, then you may sell one and acquire another 3, and it's going to expand and contract, expand and contract. And new investors can come in, some investors can leave, and it's really its own entity. So those are the 4 ways to buy a piece of real estate property. And it doesn't have to be multifamily, right? It can be office, it can be retail, industrial. All 4 of these work, but it all goes back to the real estate matrix. So when you're sitting down and trying to figure out, okay, how am I actually going to buy this piece of real estate? You just go to the matrix, and this makes it so easy. I remember when I first got started in real estate investing, my head was spinning. I really had no idea what I was doing. It seemed very, very complicated. And that's where I really developed the matrix, because there are 4 pieces to every single real estate deal in the history of mankind, right? You need the deal, you need the financing, you need the equity, and you need the management. So, and when you break it down into pieces like that, it's really easy to get a handle on your deal, right? Because like I said, if you have the deal and you have the financing, you have the balance sheet, but you need equity and management experience, you can bring in, and speaking of joint ventures, right? If you've got these 2, you can actually bring in a partner just to do the management component. Then you can bring in a partner just to do the equity component. And it's a really productive way of doing a deal, because then you can actually focus on what your expertise is. If you're an expert at everything, if you can run it all on your own, by yourself, right? I know people who are doing quite well, who run their business on their own, but I also know people who are crushing it with joint ventures. I know people who are crushing it with syndications and also funds. So those are the 4 ways to do it. Hey, thanks for watching. I've got 2 other great clips for you to watch right over here, and let me know what you think. Leave a comment, hit the like button. It really helps out the channel. And until next time, happy investing.